Welcome, Rob from Rob's Been Running. I hope you're doing well, staying safe, training hard. I also hope you had a very good Christmas and Boxing Day. So this video is just going out just before the new year, and I thought I would do a kind of like a roundup of 2023 and the races that we took part in. So I'm not normally a person who looks back on things. I'm more of a positive person. I like to look forwards, but equally I think it's good to analyze your races, see where you could improve, see what you could do better in training and such. So today I'm obviously out training, and obviously we'll come back to that in a bit, but yeah, we're going to go through each race. We did 6 this year, and it didn't start that positively, but let's get running and we'll catch up on the first race in a bit. Right, stop running for this, otherwise I'll trip over a tree root. So yeah, the first race of the year was January, and that was the Arc of Attrition, Arc 50. So not the full 100 miler, the 50 miler. And started training for that in October, and I had some good training underneath me. However, that race did not go to plan. It started off quite well, pretty excited to get going. And yeah, we were going okay for a while, but then, you know, I think the landscape took its toll and on my legs, and a few other factors as well. So mentally I clearly wasn't on it that day, because small things like water were really starting to affect me. So the Arc of Attrition 50 miler actually only has one aid station in St Ives, and that aid station is about 29 miles in to the race, which is a long way to go, and there were quite a few people running out of water, myself included. There are archangels on the course that do have water, but they are not stationed in any particular location, so you don't really know where they're going to be. So yeah, that kind of played a factor, and I think because of that I was over drinking, thinking that I needed to get fluid in me just in case I saw an archangel. And then of course when you do that, your stomach can't take any more water anyway. You shouldn't need that much anyway in the winter, but when you do that, obviously you can run out of water because you're overcompensating, and that happened a few times. And of course, you know, you're waiting to find an archangel with a water supply, and sometimes they were regular, sometimes they were not, and you would often go for quite a stint without seeing anybody, because, you know, parts of the coast path are remote. So yeah, that played a huge factor, and by the time I got to the checkpoint in St Ives, so I did manage to reach St Ives, I was in a mess in terms of mentally. Nothing physically wrong with me actually. My legs were in bits. I clearly hadn't trained enough elevation for that race, and I hadn't recce'd the course. Oh god, it's got a wet foot. I hadn't recce'd the course, and that was a bit of a mistake. So unfortunately that was my second ever DNF. I mean, it's a wicked course, it's an amazing place to run, and yeah, I'm going back next year, so in 1 month's time, to do it again and put that right. But yeah, it's a shame to start the year on a negative. Obviously I know where I went wrong, so there's plenty of things to work on, even small things like clothing. I was wearing too many clothes. It was cold, but the weather was great. I was wrapped up way too much. I was overheating, which probably you know, condensed the problem with the water, because I was losing fluids because I was sweating too much. Yeah, lots of factors. And even the night before in the hotel, you know, I got there on the Friday night, and the race is on the Saturday for the 50, but the 100-mile race starts on the Friday lunchtime. And there were people coming back to my hotel when I got there. I was there quite late. I didn't arrive till like half nine in the evening, and there were people coming back to my hotel that had DNF'd the 100-miler, and then, you know, obviously I was asking, oh, how was it? And they're like, oh, so tough, you know. And that just plants small seeds of doubt into your mind as well. You're thinking, oh my god, how tough is this course, you know, am I prepared for it? So already there are things in the back of your mind which you could do with them not being there, really. So yeah, not a good start to the year, but we pushed on to the next race, so I will tell you about that in a bit. Okay, and on to the second race in February, and that was the Freedom Racing North Downs Ridge 50k. So I took on this race with my running buddy John, actually, who I've done a couple of races with now, and yeah, it was nice to run the whole event with him. Freedom Racing put on a cracking event as well, and the 50k was just a nice way to ease back into it after the Arc of Attrition DNF. So it takes place at Dorking, Denby's Wine Estate, and it's an out and back with a little loop at the end, basically. So 50k, we wasn't racing such. I don't race for places anyway because I'm too slow, but if I happen to get a good one, then then I'm having a good day. I think I came 112th in this one. It took me about 5 hours and 52 minutes, but yeah, lovely race, and just really getting some good training in for my goal race later in the year. So overall a really positive race. It went really well, and it was a big confidence booster after the disappointment of the Arc of Attrition. But yeah, really good race. I'm going to do a bit more running now, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so yeah, in April we took on the third race, and that was the Rose of the Shires by Go Beyond Racing, and that's a 54-mile race in Northampton. Beautiful race, not particularly hilly, couple of hills in there, but not too much. Again, I was racing that one with John, which was good to have his company along the way. And yeah, again, I was treating it as a training race for my goal race, but actually we went out and did quite well in that race. I came, where did I come? I came 23rd in that race. I did it in 10 hours and 51 minutes. Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. It was a good race in general. Nice course, well marshalled, and well signposted as well. So yeah, really great race. Enjoyed that, and yeah, enjoyed the day out generally, really. And it was really good training miles in the legs for my next race, which was a goal race. So we're going to talk about that one slightly in a few minutes, but yeah, let's get a bit more running done, and then we'll chat again. Right, so on to race number 4, and this was the goal race of the year. This was the UK Ultra South Downs 100 miler. So my very first 100 miler. So I was a bit nervous about this one, but I felt like I'd put the training in for it. So obviously it was on the South Downs. Very similar route to the Centurion Racing South Downs 100. Slightly different. Starts in Petersfield and takes the route right the way across the South Downs all the way to Eastbourne. It was an absolutely awesome course and an awesome race. Tough race obviously, but really awesome. And I trained pretty much from October, when I started the training for the Arc of Attrition, right the way through to May without stopping. And I think the difference between the training, what I normally do for an ultra, and the training for this race, the 100 miler, was that I didn't take really any gaps in between each of those ultra races in my training. So I started, you know, once I finished the Arc of Attrition, I took what, 2, maybe 3 days, and then I was back running again. Same after Northridge Downs, same after the Rose of the Shires as well. I wanted to get my body used to being able to run again after long mileage. So that's what I did. I missed my pie. And yeah, and it worked well. I must say, I really had to manage my body. You know, I'm no spring chicken, so I really had to manage it. Physio, you know, massages, all of that stuff, all of the maintenance work that you need to do for these races. I was doing a lot of it, and I've kind of continued that on really now as a regime. I was always doing maintenance, but just a lot more of it now, a lot of strength conditioning, core work. But yeah, particularly for that race, which definitely needed the work put in. So I positioned well in that race, albeit 55 people started that race. I came in at 11th, which I was really happy with. My goal for that race was to get in under 30 hours, as I'd never done a 100 miler before, and I came in 26 hours 42 minutes. So I was super happy with that. I actually think I could have come in quicker. I did pick up some little niggling, not injuries, flare-ups I guess you'd call them, mainly behind my left knee, which was for a while stopping me from running. So I had the poles out and I was hiking away, particularly as we came into the next day. So the race started at midday, and yeah, we ran through the night obviously, and as dawn was breaking the next day, that was when I was getting a flare up around behind my left knee. Yeah, and it did cause some discomfort for a while. Luckily I managed to get the swelling down a bit with some techniques and bits and bobs, and then I was able to run again, albeit at that point I think I was probably 70 miles in, and you know, running is not necessarily that easy after 70 miles of it, but yeah, I was running again and making up a bit of time at that point. So yeah, I was super happy to come in at 11th place. I reckon if I went back and did that race again, I could potentially get in the top 10. But it did highlight one thing, is that the longer the race goes on, the better I fare in those type of races, because I'm not the speediest person, but I do have quite a bit of stamina. So maybe that's something to consider for the future when I look to take on further challenges. But yeah, I was super happy with that goal race. It couldn't have gone any better really, not from my first 100 miler. But yeah, that was great. So I'm going to do a little bit more running, and then I will tell you about the next one, which was more of a fun race. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, after that long 100 mile race, we had a little bit of a break, funnily enough, and came back in July. And in July we took on the Maverick Cotswolds original 23k. So that took place at Sudley Castle, or started at Sudley Castle, and was a nice 23k, so half marathon if you like, around the beautiful Cotswolds. Cotswolds is one of my favourite places, and yeah, I love running around there. So I wanted to do that race. It's more of a fun race than anything else. Wasn't interested in times, goals or anything really, just wanted to go out and enjoy myself. And races like that tend to be you know, really fun. They're big organised events. There was a lot of runners there, runners with dogs as well, which was pretty cool. So you know, it wasn't just all serious running, it was also fun, so that was good. I placed in there, what, 79th, which didn't matter either way really. I was just there to enjoy myself, and that's exactly what I did. It took me 2 hours and 11 minutes to get around there, so it wasn't quick, quite hilly, but a lovely race, well put on. Lots of food and things as well at the end. You even got beer at the end, which was nice, and some pizzas. So yeah, a really fun race, and really enjoyable. So really thoroughly recommend that if you're after a bit of a fun race, or if you're after a nice challenging half marathon, then maybe that's the race for you. But yeah, really cool. So after that race I went on holiday, had a good rest, and then came back for the last race of the year, which is in September, and we'll get onto that in a minute. Alright, so the final race of the year was the lap. Now the lap is held in the Lake District, and the idea is you do a full lap of Lake Windermere. So that's the largest lake in the UK, or certainly in England, sorry, not in the UK. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. The race is run twice a year. In May it's run clockwise, September it's run anti-clockwise. The difference being clockwise is the majority of it's downhill, anti-clockwise is uphill, and you have all the biggest climbs at the end of the race. So some might say it's better to do it in May, and perhaps that's why May sells out quicker. So there you go. Great race though, one that I'd seen advertised on Facebook, so I thought I would take a crack at that, and it's really my introduction to low-level trail running. I haven't really done any trail running prior to that, so it was nice to do some trail running, particularly for what's in store next year. So yeah, I took that race on, and again, I can't say that the race went badly. The race went quite well, considering that I'm not really a trail runner. I did it in what, 13 hours 16 minutes, came in 172nd place. I don't know how many people did that race, but there were a lot of people on the start line. If you ever look at my video on that, you will see how many people there were lining up. There were a lot. So yeah, it was a pretty successful race, I'd say. It took longer to get around it than I thought it was going to, but then all those climbs are pretty tough, some of them, you know, they don't mess around with the climbs. So it was a really enjoyable race. 47 miles was a good distance, and it wrapped up the year's racing pretty well. I had no inclination to do another race after that. I thought, you know, 6 races in 1 year, that's probably enough for me. I think my legs were ready for a bit of rest as well. Not that I've really stopped training since that race, but I did calm it down a little bit and do some shorter stuff. But overall I have to say that, yeah, the lap was pretty successful. So and that's, you know, it's not bad. 5 out of 6 races went well. First one obviously didn't, and we're going to put that right in January next year. So yeah, pretty successful, yeah. Right, I'm going to get back home and then we'll wrap this up. See you in a bit. All right, so that's my run done today, and that's the year of 2023 kind of wrapped up. So pretty successful year, I think. That is my point. And yeah, looking to build on that for next year as well. I won't go into all the races that I'm going to do next year because that will ruin the surprises, but obviously you do know I'm going to be doing the Arc of Attrition in January, so and we'll be putting right that wrong for the DNF, so looking forward to that one. I guess some thank yous really. Thank you for my my pal Richard for crewing me on the 100 miler. Thank you for John Christopher, my running buddy, for running with me on those 2 races, North Downs Ridge 50k and the Rose of the Shires 50k. Thank you for Lloyd Purvis at Run for Adventure and his pals Tristan and John James for helping me out with my recce of the Arc of Attrition route, which we did earlier this year in October. That was really helpful, giving me some tips to make sure that I don't make the same mistakes as I made this year. So thank you for those guys, and I guess lastly thank you to all of you, those of you that watch the videos and subscribe, because you know the channel has been growing organically, as I've said many times on my videos, and we started the year at about 55 subscribers, I've had 1 year already. This is the 2nd year now, the channel, and we're just ticked over 200 subscribers. So thank you very much for everybody that has subscribed to the channel. It really means a lot, helps me out, helps me make better videos as well. And I'm definitely focused on doing that next year, bringing you better content, more content. It's not easy, particularly fitting it around a full-time job, which is pretty demanding, but still, you know, it's fun. I enjoy doing it, and I shall carry on doing that. So thank you to everybody. And yeah, I think the last thing to say is I wish you all a happy new year. Yeah, I wish you a peaceful new year, and hopefully a prosperous one next year. And if you're doing some events, then good luck for all of those, and hopefully I'll see you on the start line. But I'm going to leave you now with a little compilation that I put together for this year of all the races, and I will see you in 2024. Take care, train hard, race hard, have fun. Until next time, see you soon.
I didn't cry when you and I said goodbye, but then you turned around and my tears hit the ground. I thought, damn, it's all so pretty, but oh so bittersweet, a bittersweet Christmas. I walked by all these windows, there was light, people laughing, drinking wine. I wished you were by my side, thinking, damn, it's all so pretty, but oh so bittersweet, a bittersweet Christmas. When it's snowing down and I close my eyes, my tears shine like diamonds in the night, 'cause we're